I didn't say a word when the HOA president told the marina guard to remove that unauthorized boat. I just handed her lawyer a yellowed piece of paper, a lease so old the ink had nearly turned brown. He took one glance, scanned the signature, and I watched every bit of arrogance drain from his face. That was the moment everything flipped. After months of threats and locked gates, I finally had them cornered, not with anger, but with a document older than their entire association. The original slip lease, signed by the developer, recorded with the county, and absolutely outside their control. Back when this all began, I wasn't trying to fight anyone. My wife and I had just retired, finally ready for a slower life by the lake. We found a quiet house with cedar siding and a view that looked like a postcard, pine trees leaning into still blue water, loons calling at dusk, and a little marina tucked into the cove below. The listing had mentioned legacy boat slip rights, but I didn't think much of it at the time. The developer, decades ago, had given each original lot a slip in perpetuity. It felt like a charming leftover from another era, a promise that if you lived here, the lake belonged to you too. For the first couple of years, life really was as peaceful as I'd imagined. I'd wake up early, walk down the hill with my coffee, untie my old fishing boat, and drift out into the cove before the sun broke over the ridge. The HOA was barely noticeable back then, just seasonal newsletters about landscaping or community picnics. I wasn't one for meetings or committees. I just wanted to keep to myself, fish when I pleased, and maybe teach my grandkids to steer the boat one summer. Then the notices started showing up. At first, it was something small, a letter saying my mailbox was non-compliant because the color didn't match the neighborhood standard. Then one about improper driveway edging. I fixed both, figuring it was some overzealous board member trying to justify their position. But a few weeks later, I came down to the marina and found a bright orange tag zip-tied to my dock cleat. Slip access suspended pending compliance review. My name wasn't even spelled right, but the meaning was clear enough. I called the HOA office, thinking it was just a clerical error. The woman who answered told me they were modernizing the marina system and that all slip leases now had to be renewed annually. I told her that wasn't possible. My slip came with the property. She said flatly, all marina rights are HOA administered. I asked her to show me the document that said that. She said she'd forward it to legal. I never got anything. A week later, they chained the marina gate. It was humiliating. The same neighbors who used to wave when I walked down the dock now avoided eye contact. The HOA president, Cynthia, started holding her board meetings right on the marina deck, just to make a show of monitoring unauthorized use. She loved power, the kind of person who treats a clipboard like a crown. She told me if I wanted to get back in good standing, I'd need to pay several outstanding fines and reapply for marina access. That's when I stopped trying to be polite. At first, I tried every reasonable step. I emailed. I cited my deed. I even offered to meet and show them the documents I'd received at closing. Every time I got the same robotic reply, per HOA policy, all marina access falls under community management. So I started looking deeper. It began with a trip to the county recorder's office, a beige brick building that smelled like old paper and dust. I asked to see the original development filings for our subdivision. The clerk disappeared for a few minutes, then came back pushing a cart stacked with file boxes. And somewhere in the middle of those, I found the original slip lease agreements, recorded in 1986. The signature at the bottom belonged to the developer himself, and the language couldn't have been clearer. Each original lot owner retained a perpetual, non-revocable easement for one vessel mooring, binding on all future owners and successors. That single phrase, binding on successors, was the crack in the HOA's armor. They had no authority to alter or rescind it. Not in 1986, not in 2023. From there, I built my case. I cross-referenced property plats, checked CC and RS, even requested the HOA's recorded charter. Their governing documents referenced common areas. But the marina wasn't technically one. It was listed as a limited-use easement maintained by the association. That meant they could clean it, manage it, insure it, but not regulate who used it. And certainly not revoke access from someone whose right was deeded and recorded decades before they even existed. I didn't tell anyone what I'd found. I just documented everything, photos of the chained gate, screenshots of the emails, even video of Cynthia ordering the guard to tow unauthorized vessels. My wife thought I was being obsessive. I told her no, I was being thorough. When I was ready, I waited until their next board meeting. They always started with small talk and community updates, and I sat quietly in the back, binder in hand. When the time came for public comments, I stood up. Cynthia rolled her eyes and told me the discussion on marina policy was closed. I said, "I'm not here to discuss policy. I'm here to correct a title error." That got their lawyer's attention. I placed the certified copy of the slip lease agreement on the table, then the county verification letter, then the plat map showing my parcel's attached easement. The lawyer skimmed the top page and frowned. "Where did you get this?" he asked. I said, "From the county archives." Same place a judge would. The room went silent. Cynthia tried to bluster, said something about updated covenants superseding prior documents. I calmly pointed to the clause on page 2. "This agreement shall run with the land and may not be modified or rescinded by any subsequent association or governing body." I didn't raise my voice. I didn't threaten anyone. I just let the weight of the words do the work. I ended with one line. "If the HOA continues to block access, I'll have to file for injunctive relief." I'd prefer not to. They adjourned the meeting early. The next morning, the chain was gone from the marina gate. My boat sat exactly where I'd left it, rocking gently in its slip. 2 days later, a letter arrived from the HOS attorney. It said, in carefully neutral language, that they had reviewed the governing documents and confirmed the validity of prior recorded easements related to marina use. No apology. No admission. But they folded completely. The fallout was quiet but deep. Cynthia resigned the following month. 2 other board members didn't seek re-election. The new board, a group of quieter, more reasonable people, sent out an email about restoring transparency and trust. They've avoided me ever since. Though they always nod politely when I pass, I didn't sue. I didn't demand compensation. The victory was enough. Knowing they had tried to rewrite property law and lost to one yellowed piece of paper, that was satisfaction in its purest form these days. I still walk down to the marina every morning. I still tie off the same rope, feel the same gentle sway beneath my feet. Sometimes I think about how easy it would have been to just pay their fines, to accept their version of authority. That's what most people do. But the truth is, power only works if you let people believe they have it. Now, the lake is quiet again. The board meetings are smaller, the emails friendlier. My boat, Resolution, fittingly enough, sits where it always has. And when I see Cynthia walking her dog along the dock, pretending not to notice me, I don't say a word. I just start the engine, ease out of the slip, and let the wake ripple back toward the shore they no longer control.